said she thinks she'll pitch until your arm fall off. Is it close to we close to that point yet?
Not even. I mean, that's why we lift all the time. That's why we work out. So, I mean, I'm in great shape right now. I feel really healthy. So, I don't see my arm falling off anytime soon, but I definitely don't mind pitching as much as I am right now either.
What's your weekly throwing program to kind of keep yourself on your game, but also fresh for the weekend? Is it any different than you might have expected it to be? Just any concessions being made to the workload?
Not really. I mean, it's just, you throw every day regardless. How much you throw each day just kind of is like a touch and go. It depends on how you feel, kind of a thing. Typically, I like the day before a game, I'll usually kind of take it a little lighter, just kind of get loose, just to make sure my arm kind of got a little bit of a workout in, but not necessarily going hard. And of course, earlier in the week, we usually have a day off, and then we'll go straight into practice. So then those few practices early in the week, I'm usually throwing a lot harder, throwing a lot more, probably working on a few different things, and kind of those are my more tougher workouts. So.
And you like just having this kind of workload in games?
Yeah,
you like having that on your shoulders?
Whatever the team needs me to do, that's what I'm going to do. Whether that's 20 innings a weekend or 2 innings a weekend, that's fine with me. As long as I'm being successful and helping them win, that's all that I care about. So.
Realize you had 3 starts this past weekend in 2 days. The one was run rolling, lower number of pitches for you. Would you like to, I know this weekend's going to be tough to say this, but would you like to one of these weekends get 3 straight days? Because down the stretch, there's going to be some competitive series for you guys. Maybe, again, this weekend's kind of monumental, but would you like to have an opportunity to go 3 in a row?
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think especially with us having a limited pitching staff right now, it's efficiency, making sure, you're not walking too many people, trying to get outs as quick as possible, just do your job. And when we do that, oftentimes we succeed a lot more too. So I think that's where the 3 in a row comes from, and everything is just kind of being more efficient and trying to take care of our business quicker. So
when you're playing as a kid, what's the most appearances you might have made in a weekend, like in a club tournament or something like that?
Actually, my last travel team I was on, the Williamsburg Stars Gold, we just had 2 pitchers.
Okay.
That's it. So, it was very similar to this. It was a lot of throwing. Both of us were D1 caliber. We both went to Virginia Tech at the time. So, I'm used to it, especially playing 7-8 games in a weekend. There was at one point, I think, in a national tournament, we lost and ended up getting knocked into the loser's bracket. Played, I think, 6 games in one day or something, and then we made it back to the national championship. But, that's just what you got to do. Whatever the team needs us to do and needs me to do, especially right now, I'm willing to do that.
And how many of those 6 did you appear in?
Probably 4, honestly. Okay. I want to say we started at 8 in the morning and didn't finish probably until 9, 10 o'clock at night. So it was just grinding it out. Pass the baton kind of a thing. As soon as one gets tired, just give it to the next one and let her go as long as she can go, and then give it to the next one. And I think that's something that a kind of mentality that this team needs to have as well, is just keep going until, you run out of gas. That's fine. Someone's going to pick you up. So
knowing what it's like to compete at this level, what's the pride in Kaylee and kind of the burden she's shouldering for you guys as well, kind of given where she was 3-4?
I think it just shows her heart and, and her passion for the game. Obviously, in the fall, she was not expecting to be playing in the Pac-12 this season, but the fact that she had the guts to come out here and try out and work hard and make it, and then on top of that, carry what she's been carrying for this team lately, and kind of that relief role and helping out when needed, has been awesome, and I've seen it from day one to right now. She's just improving every single day. Her spin's getting tighter, ball's moving more, picking up a little bit of speed. She's definitely improved a lot, and she's working hard for this team, and that's all we could ask for her.
This conference has produced some of the best pitchers ever in the sport. It has some of the best pitchers in the country in it right now. So for you to win Pac-12 Pitcher of the Week, just what does that mean for you?
It was definitely an honor. I wasn't really expecting it just because of the caliber of pitchers that are in there right now. But I think it just kind of goes to show that this weekend was a really good weekend for us. My defense had my back. They allowed me to get those 3 wins. They put balls in play. They scored runs for me. Without that, if I went 0-3 this weekend, I wouldn't have gotten that. So although I was the one that kind of gets the Pitcher of the Week label, a lot of that was from my teammates scoring runs for me. So.
And then going back to that first game, you gave up a hit in the 2nd inning. After that point, none allowed. Was there any point in the middle of that game where you really felt like you kind of locked in for the rest of the weekend?
A little bit. Like I mentioned earlier, just kind of trying to be as efficient as possible. When I start to kind of lose that efficiency or kind of get a little out of my zone, that's when walks tend to happen, hits tend to happen a little bit more. So just making sure that I'm hitting my spots and making sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing kind of helped a lot in that game.
We saw Rachel get on the mound this weekend. What was that like for you to watch her do it, and did you give her any pep talk going out there?
You couldn't ask for a better teammate in that situation. Her having the guts to go out there and do that when she hasn't pitched since she was probably 12, it was awesome. If you could go back and look at video, I was literally in the dugout, like almost on the field, cheering for her because I was so excited. Like, it just made me feel really good about myself and this team to know that we have like teammates and players on this team that are willing to sacrifice and play other positions, and especially pitch. I mean, pitching's hard for anyone, even the best of the best. I mean, it's very difficult. So for her to go out there and do what she did, and she didn't even walk anyone, you know, so I thought that was pretty awesome too.
Given everything of the previous weeks, I feel like everybody's kind of pulling in the same direction right now.
Yeah, for sure. I think everyone's on the same page right now. Everyone's working hard. You know, nobody's of course, like, you have different schedules and everything right now with classes, but besides that, when we're in practice, we're here to practice and we're here to work hard. Same thing at Lift every morning. So I think everyone right now is all on the same page, and we're kind of going in the right direction right now.
Earlier last week, we saw a couple of tweets similar to what you guys went through previously in the off season. Was there a conversation that sort of sparked that?
Not really. I think it was just kind of everyone's personalities coming out and their passion for the game and this team specifically. You know, there's been a lot that's happened. You know, obviously everyone has seen it through the media over the last 8 or 10 months or however much it's been. But, I mean, there's still some positivity to find in those tweets and in those different people that are still on this team. So I think that was what was important for a lot of the girls on Twitter and social media to show that weekend. So,
do you feel like that sort of bond kind of carried over to this weekend, and that's why you guys saw more success?
Yeah, I could definitely say that could have been a factor. You know, I think this team is very close. I mean, we've been close all season, but I think when adversity hits us, I think a lot of times instead of tearing us apart, that kind of just brings us closer, you know, because we're all going through it together, we're all dealing with it at the same time, and I think it's awesome to see every time that we do get hit with something like that, we just bounce back even stronger, and it just kind of shows the character and the talent of this team.